Renting is confusing, but it really doesn't need to be. These 5 facts are things I think every renter should probably know. Rent control. You might have heard about it. It's probably one of the greatest protections renters have here in Ontario. But rent control isn't for every single property. But first, what is rent control? Rent control is a safety net that the Ontario government created to protect renters. It limits the amount the landlord can raise the rent after the original lease term is finished. Every year, the Ontario government releases a statement on what that amount is. It's usually between the range of 1.5 to 2.5%, and it varies between the years. But unfortunately, these rules don't apply to every single rental. As of making this video, rent control is only eligible on buildings made prior to 2018 November 15th. So if you're planning to live into a new build, well, guess what? That new build isn't going to be protected by the rent control. And hypothetically, once that 1-year lease ends, the landlord could raise the amount of rent as high as they want to. They could genuinely raise the rent to $1 million, and there's nothing stopping them. Let's talk about the security deposit. But honestly, there's not too much to talk about. Security deposits in Ontario are simply just not allowed. The only deposit the landlord can ask for you is last month's rent and a key deposit. And that key deposit can only be the amount it takes to replace that given key. So if it takes $50 to replace that key, well, the key deposit is going to be $50. And after you move and return the key, the landlord must return that key deposit in full without deduction. I see brand new landlords time after time asking for security deposits. They may not know, but they should know. Security deposits aren't allowed. You gotta pay your rent on time, but how you pay your rent is totally up to you. A landlord might have a preference on how you pay your rent, either through postage checks, e-transfer, or maybe pre-authorized bank transfers. But in reality, how the landlord wants the rent paid doesn't really matter. Tenants can pay their rent how they want to. If the tenant insists on paying through e-transfer, well, guess what? The landlord has to accept that. And if they don't, I guess they just aren't getting the rent paid. 11 months ago, you signed a 1-year lease. What's gonna happen once that lease ends? Don't worry, you're not gonna be homeless. When a 1-year lease ends, it automatically turns into a month-to-month. The lease terms still stay the same. So if you're 10 months into your 1-year lease, you still need to give your 60-day notice if you wanna move out at the end of your 1-year lease term. I hate hidden costs, you hate hidden costs, no one likes hidden costs. And there's this one cost that a lot of new renters don't really take into consideration. This hidden cost is something you see more of in like the newer builds, and it's the hot water tank rentals. I think it's kind of ridiculous getting a tenant to pay the hot water tank rental, but that's just me. And a lot of tenants just don't like the idea of paying this hot water tank rental. Honestly, it just doesn't really make much sense. Yes, I get it, the tenant's using it, but it's a part of the house, and I think it's part of the maintenance. These hot water tank rentals, I've seen them as low as like $20, but I've also seen some places as high as $120, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. And if you're a landlord watching this, my suggestion as a realtor, you should probably just put that cost of that hot water tank rental in the monthly rental cost, because I've seen so many deals fall apart because the tenant finds out that they have to pay for a hot water tank rental, and they just aren't about that. This is a bit of a bonus tip, but please stop asking what the utility cost is. There is no accurate answer on what the monthly bills are going to be for your utilities. Everyone's usage is completely different. The real question renters should be asking is what type of heating does the property have? Older electric heating is going to cost way more than traditional brand new gas heating. And with that, subscribe for more useful tips.